Hello again, guys. This is Mr. Nace. I'm going to talk to you about U.S. History TEKS 5C. So let me read it first. Analyze the impact of third parties, including the populist and progressive parties. Okay, so a few things to consider here. During our history, right now we have two primary parties, and usually it's been two major parties. We have the Democrats and the Republicans. But there have been times in our history when a third party has come up. Now, frequently in our history, and in the case with the two I'm about to talk about, the populists and the progressives, these third party movements come out of needs that either party is not addressing or making a platform or an issue of. And so a third party rises, but over time, the two-party system kind of gets a grip and decides to absorb some of those things into their own platforms, and then suddenly the third party kind of dissolves, and that's pretty typical for us. So one of them is the populist party. In about 1890s, we get this third party rise, largely out of a farm movement, poor farmers, and in the South. But a lot of it is the farming conditions and the belief that the banks, the railroads, large businesses and corporations are taking advantage of them. And if you think about it, a railroad, there's one set of tracks in and out of town, and if you're a farmer and you got to get your goods out of town, there's just one person to deal with, not a lot of competition there. So there were concerns about rates, there was concerns about not enough money in circulation, wanting a silver standard on top of the gold standard. So this was the rise of the populist party about that time. And again, over time, that party is going to be absorbed because its issues will typically be taken up by the other two parties. The other one is the Progressive Party. It started around 1912, and that movement was also about progressive movements. We talked a little bit about the progressive era, the most famous of which is Theodore Roosevelt. And he ran under what they called the Bull Moose Party in this progressive movement. And he was frustrated. He was a Republican, and he split off and ran against the existing Republican president and the Democrat. And what that ended up happening was it split the Republican vote, and the Democratic, in this case, Woodrow Wilson, will be elected as the president. So the issues splintered that party into two, in a sense, and divided the votes and made it to where the Democrats could win that election. And those issues that you see within the Bull Moose Party and the Populist Party, these kind of efforts and movements will largely succumb to the larger parties, because they'll see, hey, we can gain these many more voters if we adopt this issue on our platform. So those are the two big third-party movements. There was one third-party movement late in the 1900s with Ross Perot. I don't know if there are any questions on it, but it's an interesting story as well. But since it's not part of this SE, we'll let it go. So hopefully that helps you with SE 5C.